Hello there, dear travelers. It is I, Altair the Lyra, the star inhabiting the abandoned space station, and we haven't even started with the visual novel. I'm already having the visual novel curse of being unable to talk. Anyways, today we are checking out the demo for Burn the Midnight Oil. Please take into consideration the following content warnings before proceeding with watching. Horror, blood and violence, strong language, suggestive content, alcohol and drug references, substance abuse, reference to past emotionally abusive relationships, references to implied suicidal thoughts. So please be careful. If any of that, you're sensitive to any of that, player discretion is advised. Anyways, this is the demo. The game is currently on Kickstarter, which is linked down below to check out if you are interested. I do not know if we will be able to finish the entire game today. I do have tomorrow saved in the case that we are unable to finish the entire thing today. We will continue it tomorrow. My cat has decided that she will not be present for the game, so please give me one moment. Anyways, as I was saying, we will also not be doing every route. We'll just be doing a blind playthrough of Burn the Midnight Oil. I will probably play the rest of the demo in my free time, but I think it's only fair that we experience a first look into the demo together. But then if you are interested in checking out other routes or the demo fully by yourself, please do so. Show love and support to the creators of Burn the Midnight Oil. And obviously, if you are able to, go back it on Kickstarter if you enjoy the game as well. Without further ado, let us check Burn the Midnight Oil. I got my water. I brought my water this time. We're good. We will not die. I wanna play Dante. Werewolf. In not. Got it. Several years ago, Dante struck a deal with Orion, a former friend of his mother. Stuck in North Haven ever since, Dante unwillingly works as a cop. He spends his nights... oh my god, I cannot read. Holy shit, we're starting off great. He spends his nights chasing criminals, waiting for the day when he'll finally have fulfilled his end of the deal. At last, Orion puts Dante on his final case. There's a suspicious new drug on the market he wants Dante to investigate, but the roots of this problem might be even more dangerous than they thought. Also, 1 second, let me make it so you guys can check the cursor for this one. There we go. Okay. As I like pointing at things with the cursor, and I realize I've been forgetting to turn it on. All previous times, you guys have not been able to see where I'm pointing with the cursor. You just had to guess. Oh, hello. The rain hits the window in a peaceful, hypnotic pattern. Orion stares outside, thoughts wandering. He has no work left tonight. He is done with moving too, so he could go home. Okay. Am I able to click? I am able to read everything. I'm not gonna read it though. But to what? It's not like being at home is any different from standing around here all night. At the same time, he knows he can't stay. Daytime isn't for creatures like him. He's expected to hide away, never to be seen by the ones who wander the hallways after the sun has risen. A deep sigh escapes him. He is sure it's the rain that's making him melancholic. It had rained the day his mentor died, too. Why the deep frown? Orion feels himself twitch at the sound of someone else inside the room. Only the familiarity with her voice can ease his initial tension. He locks eyes with the woman reflected in the window. It's you. Hi. Hello, ma'am. It's me. Francesca sits down on Orion's desk, giving it a pat. Were it anyone else, he would think them rude, but this is Francesca. If she suddenly behaved politely around him, he would think she was sick. They're each other's precious friends, which is more than Orion has had in a long time. New office, new furniture. It's nice. It is indeed. I was planning on inviting you over sometime, since I guessed you'd want to see it. But speaking of inviting you, did someone let you in? One could almost think that Francesca belonged here, thanks to the natural arrogance of hers. But Orion doubts any officer here would have actually let a stranger walk right into the station for no apparent reason. Not exactly. So you... Orion stops himself mid-sentence. If she wants to get somewhere, she finds a way, even if it means somehow breaking into a police station unseen. She could have met with him outside, which she usually does, but it seems today is different. You know you shouldn't be here. I stopped by your flat, but you weren't there. What else should I have done? Still, breaking in is dangerous. I wouldn't call it breaking in. It was more like entering through unusual means. Orion is admittedly a bit curious, but he won't bother to ask how she did it. She'd only refuse to tell, just to tease him. Besides, that's not what he's focused on right now. What's much more interesting is her scent. She smells human. Are you wearing perfume of some kind? There are items like that out there, made to mask your scent, change it into something else. Rather than the price, it's finding someone who makes them that is more complicated. Orion doesn't understand why she would go through the trouble. Normally, she more or less smells like a werewolf. There's no reason to hide that. Francesca smiles and looks around. Her tone is playful, as it most often is. This office suits you much better than the old one. A bit empty though. I think it'll need some decorations. I would have brought something if I'd known you were moving, Francesca. There's no making her talk about something she doesn't want to say. Giving up, he plays along. I would have told you about it, but I only heard about the promotion last evening. When Advic decides on something, you might be faced with sudden changes without any warning. This was such a case. You're an inspector now? Your boss sure is a spontaneous guy, but congratulations on getting promoted. If you're happy about it. Otherwise, my condolences. Is he happy? For a moment, Orion pauses to consider his answer. I hope I will do it justice. Of course you will. You're an excellent officer, Orion, one of the very, very few. Believe me, this city is lucky to have you. Francesca turns quiet. She suddenly seems a bit downcast, which is unusual, and the hesitation on her face makes Orion uncomfortable. She doesn't like being seen as anything other than her confident self. Is everything alright? You know that I'm always here to help you. Now she has to chuckle. Orion has helped her only once so far. And it had been a giant mess of her being accused of a crime she didn't commit. She'd taken a liking to him for believing that she was innocent. Their meetings since then have been irregular, but when she does come by, Orion is happy to make time. Francesca is the only one he can confide in. If she is indeed in need of his help, he'll do whatever is necessary. There is no need to worry about getting involved in something he can't do. If she is here to ask him, then it is within the realm of his means and morals. But that's not what she's here for. I probably won't come to visit you anymore. We'll have to stay in contact another way. Orion tenses up. Is someone after you? If anyone catches wind of her identity, that she isn't the werewolf she portrays herself as, but rather a hellhound, then she is in danger. It's been a while since hellhounds completely vanished, hiding away where no one could find them. Not everyone cares about finding one in the first place, but those that do are dangerous. If there is someone after her already... Oh no, I'm safe. She playfully waves a hand and and he calms down, though he glares briefly at her. She grins, amused to have gotten a reaction out of him. But if it isn't that, then... Is this related to your husband? Your mate? Yes. She touches her belly. Orion stops himself from rushing over. I'm pregnant. Congratulations. Thank you. Her voice is warm and filled with love. Orion has never met her husband, but he has seen him from afar. A normal human, their relationship isn't going to be easy, but Francesca always wanted a mate and a child. Her wish is finally being fulfilled. So yes, I will be focused on taking care of him. Makes things a bit more complicated. Him, you already know the gender. She didn't mention being pregnant the last time they met, which wasn't that long ago, and her stomach is still flat. She can't be too far along. Not officially, but I have a hunch. Francesca's instincts aren't to be underestimated, so Orion is tempted to believe her. A son. I already thought of a name. Do you want to hear it? Her excitement is infectious. Orion feels himself smile. I'd love to. Dantalion, or Dante. That one's a bit snappier, don't you think? It's a good name. Did you come up with it together with your husband? He left the full decision to me. We want our boy to have a name that suits the hellhound, and my husband hardly has any idea what those would be. It'll be the only connection he will have to my side of the family for a long while. Her voice drops again. She sighs, visibly affected by the ups and downs of her own emotions. Orion's eyebrows scrunch together. Although hellhounds and werewolves aren't the same species, they do share various canine characteristics. One of them is their pack, which is of great importance to both. Do you not intend to introduce him to your pack? Is there a reason to hide him? Because he's half human. Hellhounds don't care about that. Francesca closes her eyes and inhales deeply, steadying herself. We will stay here, with the humans. My son will grow up as one. No going back to my home, at least not anytime soon. Orion goes through what he knows about hellhounds. It's not a lot, either unconfirmed rumors he has heard from other supernaturals or tidbits from Francesca. As far as he knows, young hellhounds are still too weak, and worse, too unstable to protect themselves. Oh, we are a little guy. We are a little guy, and we are made of glass and bones. And paper skin. That makes them easy targets for people who want to catch a hellhound. They'd never be safe out in the open. It'd be more secure for Francesca to take her child and husband into hiding, turn her family in that place no one knows. A place where a young hellhound can be raised without worry. That sounds like a great risk to take. Will he be safe here? Well... Francesca brushes a hand through her hair. There's only one way or the other. Either we join my family until our son is grown, or we stay here. My husband won't be happy in my home. It's too different. So I decided we could stay here. A hellhound's mate and child are always equal. Francesca would never make a decision that favored one over the other. And the child? It's not as dangerous as you think, as long as we do it the right way from the start. We will be a human family. My son will be raised as a human, his father will be one, and I will be one too. Orion sniffs the air again. She still smells human. That is likely part of the plan. He hadn't expected the perfumes to be so effective. We will completely escape the attention of anyone supernatural. As long as we do that, there's nothing to fear. Although it will mean you're giving up a lot of yourself. Hardly a big sacrifice to make for the happiness of my loved ones. So the plan is to seem as human as possible. Yes, don't stand out, don't attract attention. Be a normal family of humans who have no idea who is living among them. Don't meet with any supernaturals. That includes you. Orion chuckles into the silence that's fallen upon them. Don't look so guilty, I understand. If you regularly met up with a vampire, people would get suspicious of how you know each other. You will move away as well, I imagine. Not many people have seen me around, but we won't take the risk. I'm also going to do something about my looks so that even if we do run into someone, I won't be recognized. A shame for my beautiful face, don't you think? Your husband is very lucky to have a wife that is willing to do so much for him and your child. Oh, don't flatter me. You'd do the same if you had a family. I would. But it doesn't matter anymore. He'd accepted that he would never have a family when he allowed himself to be changed. He'd accepted it if he accepted it even before that. Don't say that. You're immortal. You're too young to talk as if you'll never find love. I'm hardly young. You are, for a vampire. Believe me, there will be more than enough women who will appreciate your mature charm, even as a vampire. I'm not interested in a relationship right now, let alone with a human. I said the same about humans before I met my husband, and now look at me. Fate will decide for you. Francesca falls silent once more. If you can, yes. Considering you're technically immortal, you will outlive me easily, if needed. You call me young, but not yourself. You have several centuries ahead of you. I know. I'm just saying that if needed, and if you're not busy with your own family or anything. Could my son come to you for help when he needs it? I'm offended you even think you have to ask. You, your husband, and your son may contact me anytime. Francesca puts a hand on her chest, exhaling slowly. That's a relief. The thought of my boy being alone has been nagging me since I knew I was pregnant. Be honest, there really isn't anyone after you? No one. I'm probably just overthinking, but I still wanted to talk to you about it. She doesn't finish her sentence. A hunch. Neither of them want to think about why she feels so worried when there is no need to be. Francesca slips off the table, she brushes off her clothes and smiles at Orion. You're leaving? Yes, it's about time. My husband is waiting with all of our things packed. I'm not sure when or if we will see each other again, but I'll send you letters. They could be traced. I'll get them to you without anyone noticing. That much I can do. You just want to boast about your child, don't you? Maybe. She laughs, more light-hearted now. Well, I guess this is goodbye. Farewell, Orion. Farewell, Francesca. I wish you the best. Thank you. Orion watches her leave, the door falls shut with a sound of finality. For some reason, he has a feeling they will not meet again. A hunch. A hunch can be wrong. He prays it is. Be safe. You and your family. The rain starts to come down harder. Orion sighs, turning away from the dreary sight, and gets ready to go home. My little boy. My Dante. Always remember, I love you, but that's why you can't run free. You have to hold back, you have to keep control. Keep calm, keep quiet, don't let go, don't lose yourself, don't burn, don't burn, don't burn. Don't die, my child. I will do my best, Mama. Damn it. Okay. Inside the empty room, there's no alarm clock to tell the time or wake him up. Despite that, curled up underneath the sheets, Dante opens his eyes just in time to get ready for work. The air is cool, is comfortable as long as he stays under the sheets, but when it hits his skin, goosebumps form. It'd be more comfortable to sleep in his other form. It'd be more comfortable to ever be in it at all, but he's not going to risk it. The world won't allow him to slip up. Hellhounds are easily mistaken for werewolves as long as they remain in human form, but the moment he lets his animalistic features out, the difference would be far too obvious. Dante prefers not to out himself by accident. He's been sleeping like this since childhood anyway. Sitting up, Dante stretches, easing some of the tension that crept into his muscles while he slept. One of those dreams again. I didn't need to start my night like that. Sluggishly, he drags himself out of bed. Whatever. It's not a dream he's unfamiliar with, but there hasn't been a single time when he enjoyed waking up to the voice of his mother. But in the end, a dream is only a dream. When the lights in the room turn on, it quickly fades. Dante rubs his eyes, blindly stumbling towards the bathroom for a shower. Can I speak? Getting ready for a job at night is no different from getting ready for a job during the day. Wash up, change clothes, eat breakfast, or not. If you ask Dante, it's a waste of time. Should have everything. There's little Dante has in his room, and even less that he cares to bring to work. He's ready in no time. Hair still damp, he walks towards the door, but stops midway. There's footsteps, 2 pairs. Let's wait. He sighs, leaning against the wall, right next to the door with closed eyes. The lighter pair of footsteps approaches quickly, stopping right in front of the flat. Only after hearing the knocks does Dante open the door. He doesn't understand why Alice insists on having him wait, but it seems to make her happy. Dante, good evening. Baby! Hello, child, you were tiny. She has no sense of danger. Half his size, she still manages to hop high enough to hang off of him. Under any other circumstances, Dante's reaction to having someone jump at him would be to throw them somewhere else, but that's not an option at the moment. Alice! The girl ignores the scolding tone, clinging to Dante even tighter. Awkwardly stabilizing her in his arms, Dante decides to glare at the second person approaching. It's easier than glaring at the kid. Alice's father sees no reason to hurry over. He just tips his head in greeting, perfectly relaxed about letting his little girl cling to a supernatural. Good evening. He does get a daughter. Instinct makes Dante want to return the greeting in kind. Out of spite, he doesn't. What are you doing here? And more importantly, what is she doing here? Alice allows herself to be put down, even though there's a soft growl accompanying Dante's words. She looks mostly unimpressed. I'm not allowed to come? This is no place for a child, he wants to say. This corner of the city is dangerous, you know that. Besides, it's not good for a child to spend so much time with non-humans. But what comes out of Dante's mouth instead is... You are. Cursed be those big innocent puppy eyes. Are you mad I'm here? Sorry for Dante to be. You don't get mad at pups, not really, even if they're not an actual pup. No. There is no problem. Still doesn't explain why you're here. With a chuckle, Alice's father joins the conversation. I just picked her up from her friend's place. She doesn't want to go home before she says hello to everyone at the station. You being the most important. Orion's face is soft when he looks at Alice. It is unfortunately not they, them, Dante. We have a he, him, Dante here. Orion's face is soft when he looks at them, when he looks at Alice. Dante doesn't know the Orion from before Alice was born, but he knows enough about vampires to know what she is. A literal miracle. A vampire and a human shouldn't be able to have a child, and yet here she is. That she is Orion's biological child is a carefully kept secret. Despite all the obstacles in their way, they're a happy family. And for reasons Dante doesn't get, Alice keeps trying to pull him into it. I really, really wanted to see you. You never come by, so if I don't go to you, we never meet. Which would be preferable. I don't agree with her visiting the office either, but you know that it's impossible to stop her from doing what she wants. Hehe. Orion's words aren't quite the truth. He never let Alice near anything that could cause her harm. It's because he's confident that the station is a safe place that he lets her visit for a couple of minutes. I'm not scared at all, because everyone is nice. Nice? He can't agree with that. For Alice's side, most of Dante's co-workers are ready and happy to start a fight the moment they're challenged. As funny as Dante thinks it is to have an entire division full of questionable personalities, he wouldn't call them nice. Everyone just acts friendly around Alice because she's a little pup. Himself included. Besides, you and Dad protect me anyways, right? I'll always protect you. Ooh, the horrors. Dante? Alice reaches out to grab Dante's hand. He recoils, though his resistance melts away the moment he sees Alice's expression drop. We would. Alice's expression wavers for a moment, but she catches herself quickly. I knew it! Behind Alice, Orion watches them, too amused to intervene. I hate that smile. Are we leaving now, or are we going to stand around and talk forever? Orion's eyes shift away from Dante's. He touches Alice's shoulder, and the girl hums in a questioning tone. Alice, would you let us speak alone for a moment? Okay. She takes a step past Dante, but stops to look up at him. Only when Dante waves his hand at her does she run onward, vanishing around the corner to explore the bedroom. Your room is so boring. There's nothing here. One day I'll make you decorate it. I'll get you a new lamp and curtains and then a bookshelf. Her voice trails off. Dante listens to the sound for another moment, steps towards the window, then the squeak of it being opened. Knowing that she's successfully distracted and not eavesdropping, Dante and Orion turn towards each other. So, what do you want? Don't think I believe your shitty excuse. That's not why you're here. I am picking her up, and she did want to come here. I didn't lie. But I'll admit it's good to see you in advance. There's a new case. And there's one every day. Or are you here? What, are you here because you didn't think I'd be on time? Too bad, I'm awake. It's a task I can only hand to you and Raoul. He's saying that, he knows that Dante won't want the case. He's trying to get all the fuss out of the way without Raoul around. Just because Raoul loves to rile Dante up whenever he tries to evade work. Sounds like it's going to be a massive bother. I'm not doing it. You have no other choice. I do, you just heard it. I'm not taking. We have a deal, Dante. A damn deal. It's why Dante's a police officer in the first place. There's no way he'd ever work as one otherwise. Just a couple more months and I can finally leave. Even with the deal, I can still say no. But you won't. I could. You won't. Dante, I have a daughter. We can go back and forth like this for as long as you want. You'll say yes in the end anyway. Why pretend you won't? Because he doesn't like giving in immediately, and Orion knows it, which is why he appears so amused. Your answer? Fuck you, seriously. The old man is decades and decades older than him, but Dante doesn't like the way he's being patronized. Being treated like a child makes bad feelings well up. Tension creeps into his shoulders. Maybe it's because of that, but Orion softens his tone. I really do need you on this case. Dante audibly exhales, refusing to look at Orion any longer. Instead, he turns back towards the interior of his flat. Grabbing his jacket, he calls for Alice. Alice, we're leaving. Coming! When the little girl rushes over, Dante stretches his hand out to her. He takes it, beaming. Don't smirk. Not smirking. I'll let go if you don't stop. I'm stopping. See, I'm completely serious. Right. Dante locks the door behind him. There's nothing inside to steal, but Orion's the one paying for it, so Dante doesn't want to risk any damage. He owes the man enough already. The sun went down a while ago, leaving behind the darkness that Orion, as a vampire, can freely move in. Ever since Dante started working at the station, nighttime has become his new normal as well. It's an odd feeling. He's always been more comfortable wandering around in the dark, but having a regular job is completely different from sleeping and waking up whenever he pleases. That said, Alice is a human child, and the yawns slip out of her even if she tries to stifle them. Oh, little baby. She's just a child. She's just a little girl. Not wanting anyone to suggest for her to go home without visiting the station, she quickly speaks up. Dante, are you free this weekend? Sunday? Why? I'm going to bake cookies with Mom, and she said you want some. And she said if you want some, you can come over. In the afternoon, though, so Dad will be inside his room. Dante doesn't have to look down at Alice to know that she's fidgeting. Not scared of hugging me, not scared of holding my hand, but scared to hear rejection. Of course I'll go have cookies with you, baby. I'll drop by. I'm not going to promise when, though. Really? If I say I'll come, I will. Thank you, you'll love the cookies. And you can eat dinner with us too. We'll got a lot of meat for you. If I feel like it. Do you think you'll be there for lunch? Mom will want to know. Depends on when I get up. When will you get up? Whenever I wake up. Why do you not have an alarm clock? He indulges her curiosity before he can think to point out that he doesn't have anything in his flat. Can't stand the ticking. How about a digital one? Waste of electricity. I don't need one. I can sleep whenever. You do have a job. And have I ever overslept? On purpose? Yes. Okay, that's different though. I don't need an alarm clock to oversleep on purpose. See? Dante gets it. See? I don't need a clock to be on time when I want to be. So you just go to sleep and wake up when you want? Yeah. I wish I could do that. You can if you practice. Maybe. I'm not actually sure humans can do that. So you really have no clock at all? I do have one in a drawer if I need it. Wrapped up in several layers of fabric to muffle that annoying ticking. Drives him insane. Why did you buy it if you weren't going to use it? I didn't, your father did. The only things Dante bought for the room were a number of pillows. Dad, why did you buy one for Dante if he wasn't going to use it? A long time ago, Oriental hoped that he could convert Dante to a normal lifestyle. He'd given that up quickly enough. Well, you never know when it might be useful. At this moment, the police station comes into view. We're here. I'll quickly give Dante and Raoul their briefing for the night, and afterwards we go home, alright? Alright! And as usual, no leaving the room, no bothering anyone who looks tired, no touching anything. No talking to Raoul unless he's holding his coffee and I see him take at least a sip. Did Dante tell you to go do that? No, Raoul did. Certainly something that Raoul would say. Well, I'm sure he's already had enough time to make his coffee. We're a bit later than usual. Not my fault. My fault? Your stubby legs still need time to grow. But you're not saying it's not my fault, huh? As soon as Orion opens the door, he smiles. Ah, there's Raoul. As a human child, Alice has little understanding of how quickly some supernaturals can locate people inside a room, but locating Raoul is easy, even for her. He's in the little corner where the coffee maker is, just like at the start of every shift. Alice runs up to him as he takes a sip from the mug. Raoul, hello! Did you refuel? Is the conversation function working or do I need to wait? You are so pretty. Hello. Raoul pats her head, a bit of fondness creeping into his eyes. It's enough. Good evening to you as well. He then turns towards Orion. Good evening, sir. And to Dante. Hello. Oh, he loves us. What, no good evening for me? No, I don't want you to have one. He loves us. Do you want to see how quickly I can ruin your evening? Do the both of you want to have a bad night? I already told Dante, but I have a task for you. Earl takes a big gulp from his mug. Evening ruined. Thank you very much, sir. He wants us so bad. Alice watches the adults with worry. Is there a big problem, Dad? It's just work as usual. Go and say hello to the others, I won't be long. Fine. Raoul sighs, leading the way to his desk. He takes the chair, side-eyeing Dante as he sits next to a neat stack of paperwork. Don't sit on my desk. Would you rather lie down on it? Raoul looks like he's about to throw something, but holds himself back. He wants us so bad. If you like the table that much, should we get a leash for the... If you like the table that much, should we get a leash for that collar of yours and chain you to it? What am I? Your pet? Yours to command? Until you act like a decent human, werewolf being, yes. I don't remember hearing about that. In that case, I demand all the advantages of having a master. Give me money, food, and play with me. Play... Raoul immediately decides he does not want to go down that route. Oh god, I'm sorry if the choice is to, like, for his, like, romance route is to not bully him, but he's too easy to rile up. Last I checked, pets don't receive a salary. He turns to Orion, ignoring Dante completely. If there's a case, it might have been better to not bring Alice along. She looks worried. Orion joins them at the desk. I wish she was worried. Because of me and Dante, she has far too little fear of supernaturals. I guess it's positive that she accepted having a vampire father this quickly. If you two want to talk about childcare, do it when I'm not around. Give us a terribly important briefing already. It is rare for you to give us a briefing directly, sir. Did something happen today? Last night, actually. You two were gone already, and I was doing a final round of patrols before heading home. Orion leaves for a moment, then returns, a folder in hand. He taps on it as he talks. It was mostly quiet. I ran into a fight in front of Mirage. Nothing unusual at first glance. But one of the men was unusually aggressive. It was almost impossible to get them off each other. Just when I was about to resort to harsher methods, one of them... Orion stops. The way he's hesitating is unusual. He usually knows what to say. He changed. Mutated, you could call it. Did you arrest him? He died. What, it escalated that far? Did you accidentally break his neck? No, he died on the spot from 1 second to the next. He simply fell over and stopped moving. Raoul inhales deeply. Dante has heard him curse often enough, but this time the man only glances in Alice's direction. His hands move, forming a curse in sign language. Dante knows it well enough to recognize that by now. So does Orion. Don't curse in front of her, not even in signs. I'm not. Raoul quietly puts his hands away. Did you get hurt? Doesn't smell like blood. Be quiet, Dante. I didn't ask you. As Dante already confirmed, no. Nothing that didn't heal immediately. The problem is that we have never seen anything like this happen before. His body was in an abnormal state. I can read words in English. Pathology? On it, but no updates yet. He didn't tell us what it looks like. We're going to investigate this why exactly. Do we think there's more mutants around? We do. I heard mothers of people saying this wasn't the first time they saw that happening to someone. There has to be a cause. So, what are we looking for in people? Visually, I mean. Even a smell, if you have one. I love to tell you, but it's hard to explain. There was no unusual smell to speak of, but the other changes were... You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. Great. Nothing has happened since yesterday, but anything that might catch the attention of humans has to be solved as soon as possible. There's not just one but several governmental institutions related to keeping humans oblivious to the existence of supernaturals. A rampaging mutant would make that considerably harder. That is to say, if they don't solve this case as quickly as possible, it might put humans' eyes on their backs, and then... No way in hell I'm going to deal with Abraxas running around here. So take care of it before he catches wind of the issue. I need you to check all the clubs around Mirage. Talk to anyone suspicious. Watch anyone who stands out. You know your work. Orion places the folder on the table. Raoul immediately pulls it over to himself and skims its contents. But it's so thin that he's done in no time. So why do we have to take this shitty case? Reason number 1, you might have to talk to humans, and Raoul is one of the few people in the night shift who passes as a decent police officer. Are you trying to say I don't look reliable in human eyes? You know exactly what I'm trying to say. Admittedly, Dante looks more like a sug than an officer. Raoul is very helpful when it comes to convincing humans that his badge isn't fake. I'll take care of it as usual, sir, don't worry. Number 2, I want you to keep an ear out for any new substances on the street, in case that's related. Zeno might know something, and you are the only one he'll speak to, Dante. So our rule goes to question people, and I hunt down Zeno. You're not getting out of the boring task, Dante. Raoul is your partner, so don't even think about going off on your own. He's there to keep an eye on you. Sometimes I feel like I'm like a dog trainer. Don't bite, Dante. Be good, Dante. No barking, Dante. Dante growls at the statement, but it sounds hollow, so even Raoul recognizes it as no threat. Zeno isn't as difficult to handle as you pretend, old man. You can tell that to every single officer who has given up on detaining him. He's an overgrown kid, hard to catch, but he's not dangerous. Maybe that's why you two get along so well. I'm not... Time for dinner. I'll take Alice home and come back later. You can handle everything, Raoul. Leave it to me. Thank you. The fuck? Are we leaving? Messing with me. I don't need Raoul to watch over me. I think you do. See you two later. Bye-bye. See you again soon. No cursing in front of the kid, right? Growing up with Orion made her weird. You could just say you like her. Raoul finishes his coffee and puts the mug on the table. He stands up, smoothing out the creases of his shirt. Do you need to do anything else here? Otherwise, I suggest we go. There's a lot to check out. There's nothing more annoying than blindly asking people for information. You won't be asking people, I will. Raoul grabs his coat and shrugs it on. His voice is dripping with sarcasm. You're there to look scary and ensure that no one tries to mess with a weak human. Humans aren't exactly common in their division, for a very simple reason. They're helpless compared to what they're up against. Raoul is the only human officer on Orion's team. At first, Dante thought that a human would be a liability, but Raoul has proven himself to be a valuable member. It's not just about interacting with other humans. Raoul has a completely different view on things than most supernaturals, and while Dante often finds it irritating, it does have its advantages. I know he's good at what he does, but the supernatural department is a completely different beast from the standard human one. I don't get why he takes the risk. One angry supernatural and he's crippled or dead. Why are you staring at me? I feel like asking might not be a good idea, but I am curious. I think I'm not gonna ask. If you guys are curious, you have to play the demo yourself. I don't want him to think I'm worried about him. He'll make fun of me. Dante. I know it's hard for you with that irritating personality of yours, but try not to piss anyone off. You're the one who's naturally infuriating. Every hour you don't start a fight is a win in my book. Actually, go and piss them off. I'll just leave you there and let them do whatever. I'll tell Orion I was distracted. You won't. Drop the scary act. It was destroyed the first time Alice visited the station. There's a lack of doubt in Raoul's voice that surprises Dante. You're way too confident I'll be there to save your ass. I'm not sure you realize how much you glare at anyone who even vaguely threatens me. He doesn't do that. Does he? Yeah, no, he definitely does. Y'all want each other so bad. Are we taking your car? No, I've got it parked near the Golden Cat. Let's walk. Your choice. They walk for a short time before Raoul speaks up again. Do you mind if I ask a question? Can I ask one in return? As long as I have the option of not answering. I'm not going to strangle you if you don't answer. In that case, go ahead, but first, it is my turn. Why is it that Orion treats you like a child? I know he's older, but you and I are around the same age, and he doesn't treat me like that. Why is it that Orion is so worried about you? You're more than able to take care of yourself, but he's treating you like a child who shouldn't run around on his own. We just re-established that officers aren't allowed to work alone. Not that it stops Dante from trying sometimes. Of course not, but with how much he stresses that I have to keep an eye on you, wouldn't it be better if I wasn't a human? I can't stop you even if you do start a fight. A werewolf is above my weight class. Raoul being a human is actually the point, not that Dante can explain that. Other than Orion, there is no one who knows Dante as anything other than a werewolf. The only reason Orion knows is that Dante's mother told him. But Raoul doesn't have a reason to know. It's usually no issue, but in some cases it makes explaining things a bit hard. There are similarities between hellhounds and werewolves that allow one to act as the other, but there are also some huge differences. Raoul may hate it, but him being so much weaker than me is exactly why Orion decided to pair us up in the first place. With Raoul around, not only do I have to make sure he stays safe, I also can't run wild. I risk injuring him. Annoyingly, Raoul did hit the nail on the head though. Orion is treating him like a child with no self-control. I think he's overly worried about me because he knew my mother, feels responsible or something. Did he know you when you were a kid? That is not an easy question to answer, for several reasons. No. Yeah, it's complicated, I see. Raoul just nods to himself and stops asking, something Dante appreciates, not that he'd ever say that out loud. My turn. You're human. Why did you end up working here? And how? The division doesn't take in many humans. See, we basically get to ask him why he joined anyways. So it's fine. I think it was a good thing not to ask then. I believe Orion was looking to add a human to the division even before I applied. When we had an interview, it sounded like it. It probably also helped that I was able to use my family name. Previous connections with supernaturals do make it easier for you to get hired. There's that too. You're rich, and you obviously have connections, so why spend every night on the beat for barely anything? It's not a bad workplace, everyone is polite and Orion's a good superior. Seriously? You haven't worked another job yet, have you? He hasn't, so it's true that he can't compare Orion to someone else. If he put us on this case, he believes that we are the right people for it. Aren't you the slightest bit proud of that? No. That's a shame. You should be. Why? He's just using me. Raoul was partnered with Dante as soon as he joined the force, but they know little about each other. It's hard to ask about someone else when you yourself are unwilling to talk. Not that Dante isn't curious. If I've got the chance right now anyway. Where'd you work before joining our division? Another question? Hello, Yuan. Other police stations for humans. You can't help but ask directly this time. And you switched over to supernatural cases on purpose? I like working with supernaturals, not if you care about who I am, which is a blessing. Let me get this straight. People were sucking up to you before because you're rich with an influential family. And you didn't like that? I don't need you to understand. But try to believe me when I say it's really damn annoying when people think you're doing good work because of your name and not because you've been working your ass off for it. Raoul inhales and straightens his collar. It sounds like there are many stories he could tell about his previous job. I prefer to be judged for my own abilities, but not those of my parents and siblings. Huh. Alright, that's something I can get. You can? It sounds nice to have people do your bidding without needing to work for it, but if you do work, you should get the recognition, and no one else. Dante shrugs, sliding his hands inside his pockets. Still saying you're stupid for putting yourself in danger, though. I guess I can be rather stubborn. But I've survived so far. Yes, because I make sure no one mauls you to death. As we've established before, that's why you're my partner. You're doing a good job. Continue to make sure I don't die. I'm not your babysitter. Bodyguard might be the more appropriate word. Raul's mouth twitches into a little smile that he's quick to hide. Although I doubt anyone could convince you to wear a suit. Or anything formal at all. Raul's eyes move over to Dante. Which is a bit of a shame. A bit of a shame that you can't see him in a suit? Is that it, Raul? I'll have to reject your job offer. I'm stuck at the station for another while. Certainly stuck for tonight at least. The first place of interest is over there. Let's get this over with. Their first stop was indeed just the start of a long, long night. Many follow before the end is in sight. I'm going to choke the next person here who wants to waste our time. As expected, or maybe feared, no one knows anything. Not only does it take forever to make them talk, they also end up revealing that they haven't noticed anything other than a couple more bodies than usual. The relationships between the different groups of supernaturals are complicated, meaning that a corpse won't immediately cause others to react. With how close the place is to the slums, no one has the energy to care for strangers. I knew this case would be a hassle. This is the last place, get it together. Raul steps up to Dante's side. Over the years, he's learned to recognize most of Dante's body language, including the signs of his rising annoyance. Another thing that Dante would never say out loud is that Raul helps. The way he riles Dante up is completely different. Somehow, it doesn't make him want to tear out anyone's throat. But as much as his presence is a comforting one, it can't undo the strain on Dante's nerves. It's tempting to mix in with the crowd. There's alcohol here and loud music, people who want your company for a night, who couldn't care less who you are. Even those with good senses would have trouble locating anyone in here, let alone Raul. If Dante walks off, he'd be rid of him. In this case, within a minute. A break just for tonight. And tomorrow is another day. And maybe another break. Dante? Raul grabs Dante's wrist. It's a light hold. Why are you always so quick to realize when I feel like leaving? I could just shake him off. No, we're gonna stay. Could, but won't. You'd be easy prey for anyone in here. Yeah, totally, that's why. Raul stands out. He's human. He's wearing clothes that don't belong here, and he's handsome. Without anyone at his side, he might just get swept away. If the wrong person, and there are too many of those, got their hands on him, he'd never be seen again. Dante would be a pretty shitty bodyguard if he let that happen, not to mention an even shittier policeman. Though he cares less about that. I'm not going to put him into danger. Dante leans back a bit and Raul's grip immediately lessens. Yeah, I know what we're here for. Dante turns away from the crowd. Raul sighs quietly, as exhausted as Dante feels. We'll be out of here sooner if you resist vanishing into the crowd for 2 minutes. You think I'd have left for only 2 minutes? Do you think you could have left for longer, knowing that I'd be wandering around the club alone? No. Because Dante is still somewhat convinced that Raul is severely underestimating the danger of supernaturals most of the time. Just like Alice, that's what having supernaturals like Orion around you does, warps your perception. Whatever, where to? Raul's professionalism returns instantly. He glances around. I'd say the owner, considering he's conveniently wandering around over there. Catching the owner instead of some random staff member is half a miracle. The first one of its kind for the night. Although, Raul nods towards another corner of the room. That guy might know something too. The little group in the corner is in hiding. There's small plastic bags being passed around. A dealer, huh? We don't have any evidence that the victim was on something, but the chances aren't low. A dealer's the best bet for tracking any paying customers. Then again, the owner of this place would have a wider network. Oh, fuck. The thing is that if we try the dealer with Raul present, it's gonna be way too obvious we're cops. And they're not gonna talk to us. And we're just gonna waste our time. Like, if it was just with Dante alone, I think we could speak to the dealers. But since we're with Raul, and he very much does not look like he's a club goer, we're gonna try the owner instead. Let's try the owner before he runs away. Dante walks off in the direction of the club owner, Raul on his heel. The crowd parts fluidly, closing up again behind them. Dante can't remember the man's name, didn't even recognize him to be honest, but he doesn't need to. Once they're close enough, Raul switches positions with him, now standing in front. Alfred Chadwick? Ugh, never, not with that name. I'll if anything, but who's asking? Raul whips out his badge, making the fake smile on the man's face freeze. Police. Damn, I don't need your kind around here. Leave or I'll call security. I'll growl, showing up sharp teeth. There's no doubt he's a werewolf even without the gesture. The night has been long already. Seeing the provocative gesture towards his partner, Dante feels his patience thin out even further. With one large step, he's right in front of the guy, face close enough to feel his breath. When he growls, it's much darker. The sound has Al's eyes widening, whole body tensing up. Listen, you mangy mutt. If you call security, I can assure you that blood will flow. If you want this to end without anyone in the hospital, you will answer our damn questions. The more cooperative you are, the faster we are done here. Understood. Werewolves are good at gouging their opponents. The man stops showing off his fangs in seconds. Understood. Dante steps back, standing closer to Raul now to show that he won't allow any further threats. Al clears his throat, fixing his collar that hadn't even been touched, and tries to regain his composure. No need to be so aggressive. You started it, my guy! Can we start? Raul looks at Dante rather than Al when he asks his question, though he's the werewolf who answers. Not here, follow me. Al leads them to a small room in the back. It's quieter than the main area, and no one's around to interrupt or overhear them. Al leaves Dante to close the door. He crosses his arms and leans against the wall, wary and defensive. What do you want? Pretty simple. We heard about an odd fight right in front of your place. Someone died after a burst of aggression. What do you know about that? The police are looking into that? Well, it's to my advantage if you do. There's something really freaky going on there. I didn't see it firsthand, but I got the wildest descriptions of what he looked like when he died. Dante can only assume that is what Orion mentioned. I wonder what actually happened. But it's not just that one guy. I've heard of this sort of thing happening more than once. The dead aren't the usual addicts either, but even some people who typically avoid drugs, paying customers. If word gets out, I'll really start losing business. Raul tenses up at the mention of more victims. Not a standalone case of a sudden death, it seems. When did this start? How would I know? Not like I go around counting days. But are we talking weeks or months? If I had to guess, weeks definitely. Can't give you an exact time frame, but it's not been that long. How many deaths have you noticed? What kind of question is that? There's always been people acting up and dying one way or the other. Slums are close and all that. The exaggerated stories are nothing new either. I just thought it was worse than usual, till I started losing customers. And you didn't report any of the previous deaths? Al shrugs, looking uninterested. Started out more in the back alleys, nothing too visible on the surface. Raul rubs a hand over his face. Y'all are really... What else do you know about the ones who've died? Well, you already said that they act aggressive, though that's playing it down. I've seen a little succubus rush into a whole group of supernaturals without a second thought. Drew a lot of onlookers, though I didn't see any of the weird shit that people have been talking about. Sober? Drunk? On something? What exactly do you think I spend my whole night doing? I'd say if you're noticing whether the people die are customers or not, then you'd also notice whether they're buying something off menu. Wouldn't know about the details, but at least the succubus did like to party with a bit of something extra in her blood. But not a single one was the type to get that aggressive. What happened to the corpses? What happens to any corpse around here? If the police don't get to it in time, there's always someone happy to take a body along. I seriously don't know anything else, I swear. Your word's useless. Look, I don't want police around here. You leave me alone, I leave you alone. That's how it's always been, right? We'll leave you alone once you've told us everything. I have. So I won't have to come back here after finding out something else. Al hesitates, eyes wandering. I did say everything I know about the dead guys, which is basically nothing. If you want something else, there's an odd guy in a hood who's been seen nearby. A stranger? Stranger indeed. Fucking strange, that guy. How would you describe him? Tall, like... He motions with his hand, showing a size way above his own head. Tall. Wears some odd dress, oriental or whatever, a hood over his head. Everyone who's seen him says the same thing. He's scary, intimidating, made them freeze up and want to hide even when he was just passing by. Did he talk to anyone? Not a single word. Sounds like a supernatural. What kind? No one knows. There's no scent on him, none. He appears out of nowhere without a sound and vanishes just as quickly. Are you sure that the ones running into him don't just have a bad nose? If it was one person, sure, but I've already heard of a dozen different people who have seen him. All kinds of supernaturals, too. Raoul turns to Dante. Don't vampires have no smell? They do have one, it's just very subtle. Not to mention that the smells of your environment stick to you. It's weird to say that someone smells like nothing. Suspicious, right? There's stuff that changes your scent, but no one would go for nothing. Smelling like nothing sounds out worse than anything else could. Not that you'd know, human. I don't need a dog's nose to understand that. You, a dog? All gapes and looks over to Dante as if fully expecting a fellow werewolf to take offense at being compared to a dog. Little does he know that a hellhound doesn't appreciate being compared to a werewolf either. Honestly, you do look like a dog. One little growl and you tuck in your tail and lower your head like an obedient mutt. Al wants to get angry. He really wants to get angry. But Dante smirks, showing his teeth, and it's written on his face that he knows that he knows what Dante wants, a fight. Not one Al is going to win. Gritting his teeth, Al turns his head away. Is that enough for you to leave? Anything else I can tell you is just random stuff. People having affairs, magic experiments failing, cartel doing cartel stuff. The museum burned down or something? I don't know. SSF was sniffing around for that last one. The tall grumpy vampire with the white hair's been snooping. Abraxas? That might be interesting to hear more about. Dante tilts his head, tempted to ask more about it, but Raoul shakes his head. Something for later, then. I have one last question, then we're done. Get it out. Have you seen Sino around lately? Huh? I asked Al, getting defensive again. What are you asking about him for? Suddenly involves his business, so now he's climbing up, huh? We need to talk to him too. Don't know him, no idea. You don't look like you don't know him. Dante interrupts Raoul with a shake of his head. He's not gonna say anything if you ask him like that. We're not out to get him or mess with your sales, we just want to talk to him, then we'll leave him be. Sounds like bullshit to me, you're cops. Even cops have given up on catching him, we just want to ask him about any drugs on the market. You say that, but fine, I do know who he is, hard not to around here, but I wouldn't know where he is. He's here and there, wherever he pleases. A small fry like me couldn't keep an eye on him, can't help you. That's very much in line with how Sino behaves. Both Dante and Raoul know that. Alright, thank you for your help. Are you leaving now? Yes. Finally, let me escort you out. This is the most motivated Al has been in the this entire conversation. Dante and Raoul do get escorted out, but the way the door slams shut behind them makes it clear they're not welcome back. I should have punched him just once. Wouldn't have helped. I mean, for the fun of it. It's worrying that there are many more victims than we expected. Orin was right to think that something is wrong. Well, we've checked all the clubs and any other places in the area that make sense. But since we haven't even... Since... Oh my god, I cannot speak! But since we haven't encountered anyone unusually aggressive or dead, we can't do anything else for the moment. I'd suggest you see if you can find Sino. He's not going to reveal himself if I'm with you, so... Meet me at the Golden Cat when you're done. I won't try for very long. Better than nothing. In the meantime, I'll inform some people about the stranger, just in case he's involved in all of this. See you later. Raul doesn't wait for Dante to start complaining, leaving before he can get a single word in. How the fuck am I supposed to find that guy? Dante shoves his hands into his pockets, walking down the street. Best chance of running into Sino is doing exactly that, just walking around waiting for Sino to show himself. If he's not asleep, who knows where, he's working at his lab, that's also who knows where. And if he's not working, he's relaxing on some rooftop. As one of the main designers for an astoundingly large circle of cities, Sino should be a more dangerous guy, but even the police aren't after him anymore. There's been so many attempts to capture and keep him, but he always slips out. Not to mention that there'd just be someone worse filling in his position if he's gone. Most of the time, Sino is friendly. He minds his own business and he doesn't pick fights. He's not a direct threat to others, even a child would be safe around him. As long as you can make sure he doesn't feed them anything weird. Sino doesn't show up as he walks around. Dante's patience reaches its limits and he stops. Fuck this, I'm leaving. What? I was just about to stage a dramatic entry. Huh? I almost got the timing figured out and now you're ruining all my work. Sino, there you are. Hello, Saki! Hello! Sino's sitting on top of a roof, but his voice carries as clear as if he were standing right next to Dante. Here I am. You've been looking for me. I have. Come down. Sino doesn't even consider it. No way. We must stay apart, for I never know when you might turn on me, take advantage of me letting my guard down to arrest me. Have I ever even tried to arrest you this whole time we've known each other? No. So I'm not gonna start now. Calm down. Don't want to. I feel like our current distance is fitting. Something about the distance between our hearts? Are you ever going to stop talking nonsense? Sino grabs his chest in a dramatic gesture. A cop and a criminal can't be friends. You being down there and I up here is a representation of that, get it? We are friends! We're besties! Don't even worry about it, Sino. Me not capturing you to put you in jail is what makes us friends. I thought we were friends? It's embarrassing to say out loud, but Dante thinks it makes sense to call Sino a friend. They meet regularly, but Sino always stops to chat when he sees Dante. Even the occasional chases are nothing more than a game. For reasons Dante doesn't understand, Sino loves running away from him. Though Dante enjoys chasing, so it does work out. Huh? Sino's expression momentarily shifts from surprise to something else. It looks like he didn't expect that response, but is happy about it nonetheless. Like a giddy child, he starts bobbing up and down. They really do have very good visuals. I am like, oh my god, the art in this visual novel is so fucking good. I guess we are. Great, now that we've established that. It's quite tragic though. Even as friends, we can't openly spend time together. My superior officer at works knows that I know you. A relationship doomed from the beginning. Stop wandering off into your own world. Then again, relationships that develop despite the unavoidable obstacles between you can be especially sweet. For a long second, Dante allows himself to just close his eyes and inhale. Dante's so fucking close to crashing out on Sino. Sino? Yes. Get your ass down here, I'm coming up. Sino claps his hands together. A small, colorful dust cloud appears, likely remnants of whatever he last worked on. You'd come all the way up just to have a chat with me? We're like Sherlock and Lupin. True freedom lies in breaking the chains of societal expectations. We are two people who can't be together, can't be apart. We don't care what the world sings. 1 second, I have cats demanding entry. Ayo! I mean, fair, Saki. That's very fair. I understand. There are some research purposes that are very important with Dante. You're right. Oh. Oh. Okay. My cat looked at Dante for 1 second and then jumped up like, no, I don't want him. He's like, I know that's a dog. I don't like him. What the fuck are you saying? I need a damn beer. You make me climb up to you. I'm going to break one of your bones for every second you've wasted. Up on the roof, Sino cocks his head. You're so serious today. He gets up and steps off the edge without a second thought. Sino's body appears from above, hanging upside down, bouncing slightly as he stops right in front of Dante. I think my cat likes women more than men. I think that's why. Hey look, I've been getting the hang of a new trick. It takes some practice and all the blood runs to your head, but it works. Dante's so fucking done with this dude. Without comment, Dante grabs Sino by the waist and turns him around mid-air. Sino squeaks like a toy, but doesn't struggle. There are words I could say about these lines. There are words I could say. I won't, though. But there are words. I could snap him in half and... Okay. I could snap him in half by accident. Finding himself the right way up again, the wizard stops hovering and places his feet on the ground. What's wrong? Usually you play along for a bit. I'm not falling for the sad puppy facade. Not today. Not twice today when Alice already got me earlier. I'm still working, I have to talk to you. No time for games? No time or energy. Sino circles Dante once and makes a doubtful sound. You look more like you have too much energy. You could use some calming down. Want something? I've got some stuff with me. Not right now. Alright, but if you change your mind, I've got a personal stash. I'll give you only the best. Just give me, just shout at the street or something, I'll find you. Probably. Sit on the rooftop and howl. You're a werewolf, aren't you? I'm sure you howl very nicely. Everyone wants Dante. Everyone fucking wants Dante so bad. I remember to call you by howling in the future, but about the thing I'm here for. I'm all ears. Actually, I'm working on a spell that gives you a flying ear. Not an actual ear, I think, but you can make it fly around and you can hear what it hears. It's failing so far, but it's going to be fun. So you know, concentrate. Concentrating, listening. Do you know anything about a new substance that makes people abnormally aggressive? You missed out. Like, you came in just like seconds after Raoul got off screen. I think you'd enjoy Raoul actually. The majority of drugs in the area, at least for the supernatural, were created by Sino. Other creators have little space to compete, and those that do are carefully selected and only make specific products. I'm sure we're gonna like come across Raoul again very soon anyways, because he's Dante's partner, police partner, so. The cartel controls the whole system, so to its own benefit. Fewer issues, more happy customers. Tino's expression turns blank. A new drug. Anything you made or were involved in recently? Or any new substance from anyone else? You don't remember? Tino pulls a hand through his hair, messing it up. It leaves a little trail of blue powder. Oh, my nose is itchy. There is so much stuff I work on, so many recipes. How can you expect me to remember everything? Customer confidentiality or something like that. I don't remember who came to me for what. You're so great at confidentiality that you forget their names before they're even out the door. Exactly, you get me. See, this is... Xeno's like me, though, in the sense that, like... I'm too really good at confidentiality, because I just forget. You tell me something and, like... I'll remember it if it's brought up again, but otherwise it's just out of my brain. I don't remember. Somewhere. Do you remember my name? Dante. I'm honored. You're my sworn nemesis. Of course I would remember your name. I don't have holes in my shirt because it's very, very cold. How many people's names do you know? Like 15, 20? You'd have expected this. This guy doesn't remember anything from 5 seconds ago if he doesn't want to. What a way to live your life. It's a nice life. You should try it. Not thinking about stuff that doesn't have to bother you is great. I can use that time and energy for other things, unlike you right now. Sometimes Sino's suggestions actually make sense. It's odd, because usually nothing about him does. Rather than worry about who I'm working with or what they're doing, I prefer to think about nice things. Like my next meal, for example. We should go eat out together sometime. Weren't you just blabbing about keeping your distance? We don't have to go. I didn't say no. I'm also just saying. Dante blanks out for a moment, thinking about his next meal does sound nice. Stop distracting me, I still have questions. And I still have answers, or not, we'll also have to see. You know nothing? I know nothing. Listen, it's not one of the usual party drugs, it's deadly, kills people. It's what? From one moment to the next, it's like a switch is flipped. Xeno's tone changes completely. Who fucked that up? They're not supposed to kill. Dead customers are bad customers, and that gets the police on our backs. Whoa, he's pissed. Only people who are alive can buy more. That's just basic business logic. I've worked my ass off to make sure my stuff doesn't have bad side effects. And here comes some brainless designer messing it all up. Really? You're going to tarnish my name. Do you even care about your reputation? No, but this is a matter of principle. Which principle? Xeno awkwardly waves his hand. Something, something. I don't like my work being screwed up, that's all. You're sure it's not someone selectively killing people? I'm not sure about anything. Our only guess so far is that everyone affected is taking the same thing. What a pain. Xeno lifts his hand, biting on the knuckles of his index finger. Our system is working so nicely. I don't want anyone messing with it. Are you gonna be in danger? Is this going to get you into trouble with the cartel? Doubt it. My customers trust me. But depending on who is doing stuff and what exactly they're doing, the situation might escalate. And if it escalates, I'll lose my peace. I like my peace. We're working on avoiding that outcome. Thanks. Tino's smile returns, he turns on his heel and walks off a few steps, waving at Dante. Well, it doesn't matter what it is, you're gonna find out who's messing with my customers, right? I have no choice. Then I'll do the same. I'm sure we can fix the problem together. Dante, see you again soon. Next time, let's have something to show for this case. Tino does a little hop that lands him in mid-air again, quickly taking him up to another roof where he vanishes out of sight. You say that, but you're not gonna remember, are you? Can't tell if he's a genius or an idiot. At least he managed to find Sino and hear what he has to say. But I'd have liked something more useful. This whole night has been a waste. It doesn't help his mood. Dante rubs his hands over his face. Whatever, I did my work. Raoul should be waiting for me, time to finish up for today. It takes a moment for Dante to find his way, but soon he's walking down He's walking down another alley to get to the bar. Hello, Raoul. Or not. With the night ending, people are starting to return home, if they have one. Tired yawns, drunk ramblings, and happy hollering can be heard, though Dante takes the quieter streets on purpose to avoid them. It always helps, but only so much. Even the back alleys have other people in them. Dante quickens his pace, listening despite himself for any surly remarks or angry slurred muttering. He'd never been the type to ignore rowdy drunks. They didn't ignore him, either, which would have been a blessing at least until Orion caught on. He wasn't really losing control if some idiot on the street swung at him first. The fights were an easy way to burn off his restlessness, but when he'd first started working as a cop, Orion had hardly left his side at night. He used to drag Dante away from the busier streets, repeating over and over, like a broken record, a very annoying one, for Dante to just ignore them. And he's right, drunks don't make for challenging fights anyway, they're a waste of his time. He's good at it by now. Ignoring them, not jumping at every chance. That doesn't mean he doesn't want a fight. Damn vampire. I should see if he'll fight me again soon. Orion is not to be underestimated as an enemy, which is why Dante has been trying to rile him up since day one. He'd only managed to bait him once by bringing up Alice. Dante hadn't liked what happened after that. But the end result was positive. Orion had agreed he needed an outlet, so they started sparring here and there. Not half as often as Dante would like, but better than nothing. I'm going insane. Everything tonight's just messing with me on purpose. Fucking work, fucking case no one cares about except for Orion and some higher-ups I've never seen before. It's right when he has that thought that someone stumbles into Dante's path. Watch where you're fucking walking. And they flares up, the alcohol stench coming off the man is so bad that it itches in his nose. The man jolts, swaying from left to right. He's muttering something under his breath, but as he raises his head, the murmur quickly grows louder. It's incomprehensible nonsense, half syllables that are connected in no particular order, more sounds than words. They tumble over each other as the man's face distorts, veins bulging out and eyes wide open. Oh no! He screams a bestial cry as he raises a fist, swinging it towards Dante wildly. Bastard, you picking a fight right now? Dante tries not to focus on the delight buried under the anger of his words. He catches the fist. It's surprisingly heavy for a man with such a thin build, and throws a punch right back. It connects hard enough that he can hear a crack. He expects the man to either back off, surprised by the resistance, or just keep swinging. What he doesn't expect is how the man turns, not at all reacting to whatever just broke. He bares his teeth, getting ready to bite right into Dante's hand. Dante pulls back his right hand, using the other to grab the man by the hair and swing him against the wall. There's a dull thud and the man slumps down. Ah shit, come on, seriously? Dante groans. The man is not strictly human. Under the alcohol and the sense of other supernaturals, he smells like a wizard. Sadly, him being a wizard doesn't exactly fix his human frailty, and as Dante strains his ears, he can't hear him breathing anymore. Shit. The desire to ignore the situation is strong. If he's just killed a man, then that's going to become a giant mess. The guilt doesn't quite settle in. There's too many other emotions taking up all the space. But he knows that Orion wouldn't leave, neither would Raoul. He is neither of them, but he won't be able to look them into the eye if he doesn't take care of this. Dante kneels in front of the body, quickly checking the man's situation. The impact against the wall was not bad enough to kill a person. The punch before that was worse, and even that appeared to have only broken the man's nose, doing no further damage. No, the man shouldn't be dead, but here he is. Oh, what the fuck? Throws a punch at me first and then has the audacity to die in front of me? Son of a bitch. Wait. Dante squints at the corpse. Aggression followed by sudden death? No way could it be. Dante reaches out to touch the man again when... Dante whips his head around, staring down the street. Seconds pass, but what he first saw was the sound of a single isolated step doesn't return. 1 second, my other cat is demanding entry now. Okay, let's see what horrors beyond our imagination are about to show up. This night can't get any weirder. He sighs, returning to face the corpse. Doesn't get to focus on it. This time it's not an unknown sound, it's a voice almost right next to his ear. Wasting no time to think, Dante throws himself in the opposite direction, scrambling to his feet and distancing himself from whoever has managed to approach him without even audibly breathing. There was no smell to warn him of the stranger's presence. They smell like nothing. Oh! Hello? They're just suddenly there, looking at the dead person and then turning their attention towards Dante. He knows the stranger's looking at him without seeing their eyes. Ice seeps through his veins, an almost physical sensation as it steals his breath away. When the hooded figure straightens, their clothes rustle, but that's the only sound around them. This person is tall, wears a mud dress, oriental or whatever, hood over his head. It's the hooded stranger. Everyone who's seen him says the same thing. He's scary, intimidating, made them freeze up and want to hide him in when he was just passing by. The guy that club owner talked about. That man is as tall as described, and his clothes indeed just as odd. Considering the circumstances, he's definitely someone that needs to be interrogated, but... terrifying, he's terrifying. Al's description sounded like an exaggeration. Unexpectedly, he was right. The sheer presence of the man makes even Dante want to hide away. But at the same time, how fascinating. I've never met anyone like this. He doesn't like to bow down, not even when he's as intimidated as he is right now. The different sides of him pull in opposite directions, ultimately rendering him completely motionless. Fight until the hierarchy is established. There is no surrender. A hellhound does not lower their head to someone who does not earn their submission. Submit, because a fight is not necessary. This person being creature is far above him. It's stupid to not understand this, and accepting another's strength is not shameful. His human side, quiet till now, chimes in. When you see someone scary, isn't it better to run? Oh, I know who this is! I've seen it. Oh my god, I'm so glad it's on. Oh my god, I'm so glad it's on Dante's route. This is the character that when I saw the character profile, I was like, I have to play this game. I saw the character profile, I was like, fuck, hook, line, and sinker, I'm so fucking easy. What do you know about this one's state? The hooded man talks, interrupting his thoughts. His voice sends shivers right down Dante's spine. It's not a request, it's an order. He has to answer. He doesn't try to fight this, at least. There's no reason to. I don't know them. Dante's voice is shaking. He swallows heavily and puts a hand on his throat. forcing himself to calm down. He will not stutter from fear like a helpless pup, but they might be one of several deaths caused by the same thing. The man hums. After a moment of contemplation, he moves closer. The closer he gets, the more Dante wants to leave. What is he? I've never met anyone or anything like this before. What is he? What is he doing here? The man towers over Dante. When they stand in front of each other, there's a pair of eyes shining under the hood, staring right into him. Caused by what? At this point, it's getting harder to breathe. Dante's instincts is screaming. Run away or lower your head. Just stop looking. Stop risking his anger. Stop risking your life. I'm not going to run away. Fear is choking his throat, but Dante doesn't move his eyes away out of sheer stubbornness. He has to run away too often. He's had enough of it, even in the face of potential death. You're not running away. The eyes under the hood narrow. Dangerous. I'm gonna... The thought is like a hand on his shoulder, steadying him. Dante forces himself to assess the situation as objectively as possible. The stranger isn't threatening him, not at all. Neither is his aura nor what's visible. His facial expression is an act of deliberate intimidation. The stranger is terrifying to stand across from, but he's not made of any move to attack. This is a natural aura pushing others down, not a conscious act. He's just asking questions. A prey that runs gets hunted. Stand your ground, don't give in. It's hard to hold eye contact with the man, but the longer Dante does, the more fascinating his eyes get. He's old, very old. His eyes are not a lake, they're an ocean, calm right now, but the waves can build up high. There's no desire inside them and no threat. All the man is doing is looking down at a curious thing he encountered, giving it his attention for a mere few seconds. Restless seconds pass. And the man leans back again, and the pressure vanishes enough for Dante to inhale. Those things like you usually run away when I get close. You're not. How quirky. How quirky. I'm a big scary angel man. How quirky. What are you calling quirky? Continue on with your night, young hellhound. Don't forget to breathe. Oh, maybe he actually is an angel. I said that as a joke. With that, the hooded man's attention span appears emptied. He turns his head up to the sky, pausing for a second. Then he walks off, odd clothes rustling softly with every step. By the time Dante manages to snap out of it, he's gone. Who was that? Someone like him would stand out everywhere. How is it that the whole city's not talking about him yet? Not to mention he knew what I was. It's impossible to tell the difference between a werewolf and hellhound by scent alone. Did my reaction give it away? What else? When the fear is gone, there's nothing but awe left. That man is someone even the most powerful supernaturals in North Haven would bow to. That thought is almost pleasing. Power struggles are common within supernatural communities. There's always someone planning to overthrow the current boss. If that man stepped in, Dante can't imagine much that would stand in his way. You'd be a desirable leader, but you want to try. Ooh. Honest to God, I don't think Dante wants to be a leader for shit. Hellhounds don't have alphas, not like werewolves have, not like that. But the strongest among them, the most cunning, the most intelligent, they're still the ones everyone turns to when the situation grows dire. The stranger would be the kind of leader to give you security, a horror to outsiders, but the ideal protector for everyone inside the pack. It's not a thought he decides to spend more time on. Not a hellhound that I'm sure of. Useless to wonder what someone could bring up to the species when it's not even a possibility. The man is gone, and it's best not to think about him. If he does think too much about him, he might just try to follow him. Dante shakes his head. Back to work. There's still a corpse on the ground. Pushing away all the stray thoughts, he approaches the body. Dante checks the man from head to toe one more time. The distraction helps. Looking at him now, Dante finally understands what Orion meant about knowing a victim if he saw one. The skin of the corpse has developed thin cracks in a short time since he collapsed. It feels hard, as if the whole body's surface has hardened. Well, at least it looks like this wasn't my fault. That's something. The cracks have the slightest discoloration, but that's about it. You can still move the corpse's joints, so whatever has happened is mostly superficial. What the organs look like, he couldn't say. I've seen people incised before, but I don't exactly have an interest in them. That's a job for pathology. I'll have to get someone from the station to fetch the body. Sadly, he doesn't have a phone. They're giant brick-shaped things, unwieldy and inconvenient to carry around. Daryl keeps one on him, but he's not here. He does, in theory, have a pager. But that's exactly where it always is, on his desk back at the station. He just really hates that thing. Contacting the station is what he has Raoul for, right? Still, there's no way he's going to carry a corpse on his back, so he has to inform someone. To wake some people up. There's enough houses around, he just has to sniff out a supernatural household and ring in long enough until he can tell someone to call the station. No annoyances can fight against the power of a police badge. The poor couple Dante woke up wasn't happy, but neither was he, so they made the phone call obediently enough. Having gotten confirmation that someone was coming, Dante decided that his day was over. The couple will make sure no one steals the corpse. The bar is still open when Dante enters. There's a handful of people sitting here and there. The Golden Cat is his favorite bar. It's a cozy place frequented by both supernaturals and humans in the know, which is perfect for enjoying a beer after a long day, or night, of work. A bit farther inside, Raoul is already waiting for him, sitting with two people Dante recognizes. Because it's good that he has company while he was waiting. Halfway decent company, even. You can consider Edgar good company for Raoul. They're both decent people with morals and all that. Circe, probably not so much. The bar isn't that big, so they notice him the moment he enters. Dante feels Circe's eyes on him and involuntarily rubs over his arm, where their hairs are standing up. He takes a breath to calm himself. Nothing happened. Dante stops at the bar to order a drink first. He can hear Circe talking about him. Oh, this is the other player character. Is he avoiding us? I think he can hear you. Yes, that was the point. Kitty! Little guy! Oh! He ignores her for now, reaching to pet the cat sitting on the counter. She's the namesake of the bar and probably the only cat that doesn't care about getting petted, even when the one doing it is a supernatural. Tina purrs as he strokes her fur, leaning into the touch. She's warm, small, and weak. Complete opposite of the man just now. A rough tongue licks the tip of his finger. Tina experimentally gives it a bite to see if it's not something edible, and turns away in disdain when it's not. Cold kitty, not even worried I might hurt you, huh? Nya! He scratches her ear, but in a classic cat-like manner, the animal suddenly decides she's had enough and jumps off the counter. As she vanishes somewhere underneath the tables, the bartender returns. Here's your beer. Thanks. Beer in hand, Dante finally joins the group, waiting for him. He takes a seat next to Raoul, pretending he doesn't notice Circe's unblinking stare. Circe and Edgar are a vampire and a human who run a private investigation agency together. Dante would find their partnership weird if he didn't know Orion and his wife. We still make two abnormal pairs, two weak humans working together with two dangerous supernaturals. I can tell exactly why Raoul and Edgar can connect with each other. Edgar and Raoul have a friendly enough relationship to chat whenever they run into each other at the Golden Cat. As a result, Dante and Circe have also started running into each other. Circe is as nice as she always is, which means she's not. She jumps at the chance to tease him. Did you forget to brush your hair this morning, or did you run into trouble on your way here? If anyone's picking on you, you can always let me know. I don't like animal abuse. He'd comment on that, but he has an easier retort thanks to having heard about Abraxas being around. Just ran into Abraxas, seen him recently? Seriously doesn't even try to hide her disdain. Not really. Gotcha. I heard he and his agents were snooping around that museum that exploded, interviewing potential witnesses. Guess I'll be wandering all around the city till that's sorted, keeping an eye on things. Ugh. If I haven't run into him yet, I'm sure you will. A lot. Haven't gotten the reaction he wanted from her, Dante's focus shifts to what she might actually know. There's always something interesting happening with when the SSF gets involved. The SSF, or Supernatural Secrecy Force, is not like the police. It's an international security and intelligence agency tasked with ensuring that the existence of supernaturals doesn't come to light. Apraxis is the captain of the SSF's North Haven branch. Dante doesn't care too much about them. They don't get involved with They don't get involved with the police unless there's a problem, so they've never bothered him. Even when Abraxas does visit the station, it's got nothing to do with Dante. But that doesn't mean he doesn't find their work interesting. It's entertainment, at least. Heard anything about that, though? Seriously just shrugs. Her disinterest would be believable if she didn't rattle off the next couple of sentences so quickly, making it obvious she's trying to change the subject. Not sure what you're asking me for. I haven't got a clue what they're up to, and speaking from experience, it's best if it stays that way. Actually, why do you even care? Aren't the SSF and the police supposed to stay out of each other's business as much as they can? Unless it's related to whatever the two of you are working on. Rahul wouldn't tell us anything, but maybe you will. Hi, Rahul. Rahul takes a sip of his beer the same way he sips from his coffee when Dante is talking nonsense. You didn't give me the chance to say anything. As if you would have told me the truth if I did. Seriously stares Dante down. He holds back the urge to comment that if she had shared a story of her own, he'd be more inclined to talk. Well, since you asked so nicely, no. You suck. I don't, that's your job. Next to them, Edgar fidgets nervously, then interrupts them carefully. Okay, well, you two look busy and we're in desperate need of a drink. We'll leave you to it. But, come on, seriously, you've bothered them enough for tonight. How dare you? I'm perfectly lovely and pleasant to be around. Raoul offers a wave, looking faintly relieved when Edgar gets up. Good to see you, Edgar. Yeah, cheers. Seriously allows herself to get dragged away to another corner of the bar. Both Dante and Raoul watch them for a moment until Raoul glances at him. Can she hear us from over there? Dante shrugs, making himself comfortable in his seat. This close? Yes, but she's not that curious about it. Especially now when she's already distracted talking to Edgar and the bartender. If you say so. Before we get into what happened, run into Abraxas? No, just wanted to mess with her. But they did mention the SSF at Mirage, so better if he's not on his case. Now give me a summary of what happened. Found Sino, he says he doesn't remember anything useful. I also ran into the hooded figure Al mentioned, who might actually be involved. And I found a corpse, so I woke up some random people to call the station. Raoul stares at Dante for a solid 10 seconds. Dante stares back, silent. You know what? I take it back. Tell me every single thing you remember happening in order. You serious? I didn't think your summary would be that bad. Maybe your instructions just suck. It was the summary. Could you just be helpful for once? I'd like to finish up for tonight. So would I. Long version then. Partway through his retelling, Raoul starts to frown. Now he's tapping the table, eyes closed in thought. Dante waits, letting him sort out whatever is going on in his head. Do I get another drink while he's thinking? Oh, done. Before we talk more about this, I have 2 questions for you. So many questions today. That is sadly part of our job. Number 1. Putting aside whether Sino is actually involved in putting aside whatever relationship the two of you have, do you believe him when he says he doesn't remember anything about a new drug? Yes. He looked honestly confused when he said he didn't recall hearing about it, and upset when he heard that people were dying. From what I know of him, he does forget things easily. The first 3 times we met, he couldn't even remember my face. But I don't think he would have lied if he did remember. It wouldn't be to his advantage to admit it. Thing is, he doesn't care about advantages and disadvantages. Tina's been prattling about all kinds of illegal stuff to me ever since we met. He doesn't think it's an issue. Raoul nods. Second question. What, accepting my word without complaining? I just want to hear your opinion, nothing else. Doesn't mean I agree or disagree. That mysterious stranger we ran into, would you say he's on our side or not? Oh my god, his hair just got all frizzy. As in? Does he want the unknown substance gone? Or to take it for himself? Or is he just curious? For the record, I'm going to continue calling it a drug because it's easier than talking about an unknown cause. Does seem most likely for now, though. Too many addicts involved. But man... the way he talked and like the things he said... I don't think he's simply curious, and I don't believe he's against us. But I don't know if he would say he wants the substance necessarily gone. But I mean, if we're gonna think of him as being on our side, then I guess the like best answer would be that he wants the substance gone. There was something like a feeling that the fact that someone had died bothered him, at least the tiniest bit. Not to mention that I don't think he'd need it for anything. Money? Power? You can get money if you have power, and someone like him is strong enough to get whatever he wants. I didn't meet him, so I'll take your thoughts into account for now. What do you think? I think that we should avoid a stranger who might be dangerous unless we have a decent reason to assume that he's part of this situation. I haven't ever seen you worry about another supernatural strength. This is the first time. Well, he knew we were a fucking hellhound, my guy! I don't think we want to run into him again. Dante both agrees and disagrees with that. As for Sino, maybe he doesn't remember anything, but he knows something. The chance that any substance in North Haven passes him by unseen is just too low. It's not like Sino filters who he works with. If you've got money and time, he will take the job. I start by tracking down more dealers. If it is a drug, someone has to be selling it. Don't I get to say in this? You do. I've said what I would. What about you? How do you think we should approach this? I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. Oh my god. Well, we actually were able to complete the demo today. That's cool. As I mentioned at the start of the stream, I will not be doing Circe's route or going through and checking what other answers get us. If you're curious about Circe's route or the other dialogue options, please play the demo yourself. And again, if you enjoyed the demo, please make sure to wishlist on Steam and support it on the Kickstarter if you are able to. Link is down in the description to support it on the Kickstarter. And I will definitely be doing that because I need to play the full game. You can't just fucking leave it like that. I was like, oh, it looks like it's wrapping up, but I was like, no, it's gonna be a bit longer. Please be a little longer, please. No. We didn't even get to see the face of Pookie. We didn't even get to see the face of Pookie. What the hell, man? Anyways, tomorrow will probably be Library of Ruina. Probably. I'll have to see. Because I am going to be working on some project stuff, and depending on how much I get done before my usual stream time might determine if I actually play Library of Arena or not. I don't know how long it's gonna take me, and I don't know how much of it I'm gonna do like in one sitting. But yeah, that's all for today. I had a blast. Oh my god, I'm so invested. I need to know what the fuck is going on. Like, I need to know so badly. But yeah. Having said all that, thank you for coming. Leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. You've been on YouTube, you know how it works. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye. Oh wait, shit, I almost forgot. This Wednesday, I will be playing Home Safety Hotline with Jade. He is going to be sitting there and he's going to be helping me, and I have told him over and over again, it's not a scary game. At most, it's just a little bit creepy, and he does not fucking believe me. So he will definitely cry at some point, but it's fine. The fish will cry, but we are going to complete Home Safety Hotline, okay? Okay. Anyways, having said all that, once again, thank you for coming. Leave a like, subscribe, all the stuff. You've been on YouTube, you know how it works, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.